They tell you never to meet your heroes. And unluckily enough for me, I got to meet two of them in my lifetime. I am 23, almost 24 now, but I got to meet two men who shaped who I was as a man and who I was throughout my entire life. And some really bad news came out about both of these men yesterday and today. I really want to talk about this simply because I have to. I just have to. Both of these men created an experience for me that I cannot comprehend. It made me into the person who I am today. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Former Texas Tech head basketball coach, and now Texas head basketball coach, Chris Beard. Chris and I had a working relationship from around 2018 until 2020. He left shortly after the 2020 season, after the team lost in the round of 32 against Arkansas in March Madness. He left shortly after because he got a job at his alma mater, the University of Texas. The way it was all handled, the way that everything happened, he did not release his own statement or anything to the Texas Tech fandom that he had taken. He had not explained anything to the Texas Tech fandom that he had taken to the 2019 national championship game, why he left or why he was leaving. He just left and then sent out a statement 3 days later. Everybody was burned about it. Last season, he made a return to Lubbock as the Texas head coach, and that stadium was rocking. And then Texas Tech went to Austin and beat them there. So 2-0 over Chris Beard, the guy who betrayed us all. We got all that out of our system, you know. The Texas games are always going to be rocking because of this, but this morning, some information came up that was surprising to many people. Breaking, the University of Texas head men's basketball coach Chris Beard was arrested and charged with assault on a family member early Monday. Austin police confirm. They later state that they found an inmate and that it's him, and that the charges were assault on family/household member, and he impeded breath circulation. This is a felony, and it's a third-degree charge. When a charge like this comes up into light, it is scary. I mean, in Texas, a prison sentence for a felony of the third degree is around 10 years if convicted. So, yeah, that is a thing that happened. Austin police spokesman Brandon Jones says that it's alleged that Beard strangled a person at a home in Terrytown, which is outside of Austin. Officers responded to a 911 disturbance urgent call at 2:07 a.m. Monday. He was booked straight into jail. Throughout the day, I mean, a lot of things were unfolding. He assaulted somebody. That's not good. He's in jail. That's definitely not good. And UT, what the hell are you going to do about this? Texas released a statement shortly afterwards stating that they are aware of the situation regarding Chris Beard. We are continuing to gather information and monitoring the legal situation. Texas has a game tonight against Rice at home, and Chris Beard will not be there, at least for right now. I will talk about that a little bit later, but let's get into the goody-good stuff, right? At around 2 p.m., he had his Zoom hearing. Conditions: he must stay 200 yards away from the victim. He can communicate via text and a phone, but in a non-threatening way. And he must stay 200 yards away from the house. He's also under a protection order that goes until February 10th of this next year. And these photos, man, these photos come out and hit like a bombshell on Twitter. This is not a good look for the University of Texas, nor is it for Chris Beard. Later, about 50 minutes later or so, this happens. Journalists outside of the Travis County Jail see Chris Beard walking out.
Chris, anything to say? Chris, will you be coaching tonight?
Y'all give us a little room, please.
Any statement from you?
Y'all give us a little room, please.
Terry, you said the alleged victim wants to drop charges. Are you representing her? Or somebody else representing her? How can you speak to her on her behalf in that way?
Chris Beard's lawyer then came out, his lawyer, Perry Minton, representing him, came out and stated this. Coach Beard is 100% innocent of these charges. He should have never been arrested. The complaint wants him released immediately and all charges are dismissed. It is truly inconceivable. At the end of that video clip you just saw, they are asking if the victim is being represented by the same lawyer, how can you speak on her behalf, that sort of thing. Because the complaint wants him released immediately and all charges dismissed. How can you speak for the victim in this entire situation? So that video you just saw, he's out of jail now. He posted his bond of $10,000. And the Austin American-Statesman has received his arrest affidavit. A woman told police Beard, quote, choked me, threw me off the bed, bit me, bruises all over my leg, throwing me around and going nuts. She said the choking lasted for 5 seconds and impeded her breathing. Chris Beard told police that he has audio recordings showing he was not the primary aggressor. He was asked if he would be willing to share those audio recordings, to which he said no. At 5:30, while I was doing this recording, another statement was released saying that the woman who lives with Beard told police the two had been arguing for days about their relationship. The woman said that last night she took reading glasses from Beard's hand and broke them. Beard, she told police, then slapped the glasses from her face. We don't really know at this point. I do say later in this video that it was potentially his fiancée. This might be an affair situation. This might be a second woman. We don't know. But either way, he assaulted a woman last night and early into this morning. Look. Chris Beard was a hero of mine, and I am ashamed to admit that I looked up to him. By the time you're watching this video, I have completely deleted the video I had on Chris Beard on my channel that was up publicly. I've completely taken it off the channel. It's going to be a little hard for me to retain my composure at this man at the moment. You have two fan bases that trusted you. You had multitudes of players, both in the NBA and in professional basketball leagues around the world, that trusted you. You had a Texas fan base that was honestly very stoked to have you there. And as much as I hate to admit, you had players at UT that were making a huge run. UT could have been the number 2 team, was the number 2 team in the nation. In today's rankings, they fell to number 7. But they were looking for a number 1 seed. They were looking for a Big 12 championship. They were looking for a run to the national championship. But what do you fucking do? You go and you mess up. And you put all of those kids down. I don't want to speak for Texas's behalf. They do have another player, I believe Amari Moore, that has had similar assault charges against him, and those were swept under the rug. He's still playing on the team. But another interruption during this video. It is actually Arterio Morris. He is still on the team. According to this ESPN article, he had an altercation with an ex-girlfriend. Coach Chris Beard, ironically, said Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. And he's still eligible. He was arrested in Frisco after officers were called to the ex-girlfriend's house. She told police she and Morris had broken up the day before, that a relative who didn't know about the breakup led him inside. The woman told police that Morris grabbed her arm and pulled her off a bed, then grabbed the front of her sports bra, which said caused an injury on her neck. The police reported seeing a 3-inch abrasion on the woman's neck and arrested Morris on a charge of assault causing injury to a family member, which includes dating relationships in the state of Texas. The charge is a Class A misdemeanor that carries up to 1 year in jail and up to $4,000 in fines if convicted. Either way you slice it, Texas has let this guy play. He has played multiple times. Arterio Morris, pulling up his stats right now, he averages 6.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, 1 assist, and has a field goal percentage of 36.2. He's a 5-star recruit out of Dallas, out of Frisco. And they still let him play on the team. If this happens to Beard and he still is going to coach at Texas, we don't know. They've already swept 1 assault underneath the rug. We don't know if they're going to sweep another under the rug. But because this is the head coach, we don't know if it's going to be any different than this. Now, this is your head coach. It is well documented by multiple sources that he has had anger and alcoholism issues in the past. And those are 2 things that I've struggled with. Mainly anger. a little bit of alcoholism, but I have that under control. The anger part is what makes me the most mad. Apparently, he had been doing this for years at Tech, getting super angry at players, not treating them with respect. And if this is any sort of confirmation of that happening, by golly, it is a good confirmation. Chris Beard, you are dead to me. And you are dead to every single Texas Tech faithful and UT faithful person on the planet. Completely and utterly dead. If UT keeps you on board, you are going to be given the biggest hellfire from your own fan base and from opposing fan bases in the Big 12 and beyond. You will be the laughingstock of college basketball for the rest of your coaching career. And those photos I showed just moments ago of you in a jumpsuit looking all sad and somber will be on in every single student section. You will see that until the day you retire from coaching. I am so worked up right now because you abused somebody. It's not even clear who he abused as well, but you can kind of connect the dots. It might have been his fiance. And that pisses me the hell off. It pisses everybody the hell off. Chris Beard, you are dead to every single basketball faithful that ever believed in you, myself included. A little bit of that hope died when you left Texas Tech, and now all of it has died after you were arrested and are possibly going to be convicted. You fucking snake. Woo! That being said, I hope he gets the help he needs. I hope the victim gets the help that she needs. And I hope everything resolves itself in a good way. Texas is likely going to fire this guy. And hey, look, I'm a Tech fan. I'm not going to say and stand idly by and say that Texas hiring Chris Beard is the worst thing that could ever happen. Look, Texas Tech hired Marlene Stallings. Marlene Stallings was the subject of a USA Today deep dive into abuse, anxiety, and depression cases at Texas Tech. At one point, she took a player's dog from her because she wasn't playing well. She had heart rate monitors and turned up the heat in the stadium so the players would play harder, among many other things. She was immediately fired with cause. Marlene Stallings challenged it. We hired Krista Gerlich, and now our program is much better. Even Kirby Hocutt, probably the best athletic director of Texas Tech in Texas Tech history, has said that he has missed the mark. In the same year of Marlene Stallings being fired, Adrian Gregory of the softball program also stepped down because of abuse allegations, racism allegations. Again, this was in 2020. This is when Black Lives Matter movement was huge, so racism was a huge hot-button topic. Still is, but it was still hot on everybody's mind. And weirdly enough, baptisms were uncovered in this investigation. That they violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment by baptizing players in official training rooms. Oh, and shortly before I recorded, it's reported that former UTEP and Fresno State head coach Rodney Terry, the associate head coach of the UT basketball program, will be coaching tonight for Texas against Rice. That's the hard news out of the way. There's some more very hard news. And I mean, this guy, Chris Beard, had an impact on my life, to be fair, but not as much of an impact as another man. A great man, I would have to say. Love him or hate him, his name is Mike Leach. Yesterday, around midday, he had a personal health issue many believe is a heart attack, and he was transported to Jackson by ambulance. This has been an ongoing issue for a day now, and the entire college football community is praying for Mike Leach and his family. Steve Robertson, an insider of Mississippi State, states that University of Mississippi Medical Center has transitioned into comfort care measures for Coach Mike Leach. It is hospice care at this point. He has been largely, if not totally, non-responsive since his cardiac event yesterday morning. Simply means it's simply going to be a matter of time now. They will likely take him off life support. This man has played a huge role in the way college football is played nowadays. He got his first head coaching gig at Texas Tech University in 2000. And he led that program to historic highs, including an 11-1 season in 2008 with my childhood heroes, Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree. Today, Texas Tech came out with a social graphic and put his face on Jones AT&T Stadium as we are standing strong with him and his family. It would be a massive shame if Coach Leach passed away today. It would be very, very hard for all of us, for me especially. Growing up with Texas Tech football and them having that amazing season while I was in elementary school, my formative childhood years made me into a Red Raider and helped me decide where I was going to go to college and where I'm living today in Lubbock. I have a little story about Mike Leach. My uncle works for the university in the athletic department as the athletic director of broadcast. And at the time, my dad was working at Intel. He knows his way around computers. He's not an IT guy, but graduated electrical engineering degree from Texas Tech. He's all good there. David says to my father, Mark, the new head coach of Tech football needs help setting up his internet. We need to go down there. So, okay. Go to an apartment. There's this goofy dude there, sitting in an empty apartment. Looks like he's just unpacking. They chat for a little bit. He says some goofy things. He thanks him for helping him with his internet. They get it working, and goes on his way. A few years later, he realized that he set up the internet for the head coach of Texas Tech football, not just the head coach, Mike Leach. Tech did fire him in 2009 after misconduct allegations were placed against him. In my opinion, totally BS, but that is just my opinion. He was the coach at Washington State and is currently the head coach of Mississippi State. The defensive coordinator of Mississippi State will be taking over for Mike Leach in the Rayleigh Quest Bowl if he does not recover. It is a somber day for all Tech fans and for just sports fans in general all around the country. Shocking allegations, sorrowful health conditions, and news. But if there's one thing that I know from sports is that even if you're down, you got to keep going. Even if you take a few losses, you have to improve. And our society will improve, and our emotions will heal, and everything will be all right. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for letting me vent and get all of this off of my chest and explain how crazy a day it was today. A bad day, but we'll move forward. We'll have better days. See you later. Goodbye. Hopefully I do another Dylan Daily soon. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Whenever a subject, maybe we'll talk about G2 Valorant. Who knows? They're back, Anyway, bye-bye now. Have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.